what are the mistakes that you made in your journey, as a human being or as an entrepreneur, that you realize that if you would have known better, those mistakes, could have been avoided? Like if I would have been prepared, like all the people watching this, they're looking for, how can I be successful, right? Make money, build a business, holistic success in all the areas. What are the mistakes that they should avoid learning from your journey?
So I don't often talk about a failed business that I had and how it also resulted in me losing a very close relationship. But I've learned so much out of both of those experiences. So
what happened? Yeah.
Back in 2011, I got very obsessed with the world of bamboo clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about clothes or fashion at all. I have zero interest. The only thing is I came across bamboo clothing. I mean, it's super popular now, but in 2011, not many people realized that you can make clothes from bamboo. And I loved the fabric, and it was soft.
I still don't know.
Oh, there you go. So it's super soft. It's thermoregulating.
Really?
It's great for hot conditions like the UAE. And, I came across it in the US, and I remember coming to Dubai and thinking, why is it not here? It should be here.
Is it even better than linen?
It is. It's so much better than linen. I can go on about this. It's really? Incredibly soft. Yeah. So I just felt there was a huge opportunity. So there are two errors that I made here. Is like, one is like I jumped into this world of bamboo clothing without really much knowledge, but I saw the opportunity. And the second is I partnered with my best friend on this. So there are two lessons that came out of this experience. So I'll start with the first, which is the fact that I entered into an industry I know nothing about. So it meant that we were learning as we went, and looking in hindsight, I still believe the opportunity was there, but we didn't engage people or talk to people who were in the industry or had that expertise. We went on the whole path of let's figure this out ourselves. And as a result, some huge blunders were made. I mean, just to give you one example, I remember we were dealing with different factories in China, and we were dealing, it was very important. It's a sustainable product. It has to be sustainably produced, and really double checking everything in terms of, the ethical standards. And then the fabric arrived, and we made some products out of it. And I remember my partner giving me a call and saying, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've just put it in the wash and it shrank. And I went, what do you mean it shrank? And she's like, I'm telling you, it fit me before. It doesn't fit me now. Put it in the wash. And I'm like, that can't be. And we'd ordered all this stock. And so I rang the consultant in China, and I'm like, why is it shrinking? And he said, oh, well, you didn't ask for it to be pre-shrunk. And I was like, sorry? And he just said, well, if you'd asked for it to be pre-shrunk, we would have pre-shrunk it. I'm like, but I don't know anything about this industry.
Oh my God.
Had you told me that, I would have said, yes, please pre-shrink it. So
you shrunk me. You already shrunk me,
so
not
we
the
had
clothes
this
now.
whole batch, which we ended up thankfully selling, but we had to tell everyone who was buying it to basically buy one size larger.
Yeah.
So, it was just basics like that where we went through a lot of, trial and error, but ultimately error purely because we didn't do enough homework, do enough due diligence, get the right people involved, and believe that, we had faith in our own abilities. But at the end of the day, I'm a highly skilled producer. I can tell you whatever you need to know about the world of video and TV, not necessarily clothing. It's a leap, So, and she's from the banking space. So neither of us had that experience. Yeah. So I definitely, having had that experience, even though I see opportunities now in new industries and new areas, my top tip is, even if the opportunity exists, engage with people who actually have experience in that industry, who can help, you can learn from. Follow their footsteps, learn from their mistakes instead of you making them yourself.
That's a big costly mistake you do.
It was, yeah. So definitely that was a big one. That whole 3-year period, there were a lot of similar stories. But then the second one, which I don't talk about, but really has shaped how I do business with people now, is that because it was my best friend, we didn't really formalize any form of agreement in this process. And, there weren't any real issues. We were friends, and it all was very amicable. But, I started to learn more about business over the years. And by the time the business came to end, I'd suggested the fact that, we should document this. We don't have anything. We don't have like a termination agreement. We don't have anything. And she got highly offended by that suggestion and hasn't spoken to me since.
Wow.
Because from her perspective, we were friends first and this was a business. And I'm sitting there going, yes, I value the friendship, but this is still a business.
This has to be separate.
And it has to be separate. And as a result, because of that learning, every single agreement I go into from that point on, whether you're family, friend, cousin, the relationship doesn't matter. The very first thing I say is, can we please document this and put this in an agreement? And I actually believe that's the right thing to do, because business is business and your friendship and relationship is separate to that. And the two can coexist. They can be amazing. You can have amazing businesses I'm in partnership with friends right now. And the only way that really works is if you're very clear from the get-go about your areas of responsibility, and also what will happen if it goes wrong. If things go wrong, how are you going to separate? How are you going to continue? And because I learned it so deeply with someone who was very important in my life, it's really made me very strict about this going forward. And it's also taught me that if you have challenges with someone at that stage, then it's probably not someone you're going to be able to work with.
So read the early signs.
Yeah. From the beginning, if you tell someone, like your first meeting with someone, you tell them, you know what, I love the idea of this project. Do you mind if we sit and just from the start discuss how we want to make it work and maybe document it? Someone who is open, you can work with, will say, yeah, that's great. I'm happy to put it down on paper. Let's discuss it. Someone who kind of says, I'm not sure about document. Why? And you start arguing about the terms at that point means that you probably are going to have many other challenges down the line. So it's been a good learning, an important one, and one that I literally will do with absolutely anyone. So don't take offense if I ask
amazing.
for anything
I love
in writing. So.
Love it.
Ultimately, what you're seeking is freedom to fully become who you are meant to become and fully live the way you're supposed to live.
Something was suppressing me.
I started working on myself, but the progress was at the snail's speed.
I was very much fearful.
Whenever I think about leaving my job, I'm not able to take that decision.
We all have this Yodha, the warrior within us. That is the personality that you already have within you, and you have to bring it out. You have to have the truth. You have to speak when it's required.
I cried after this session almost after good 30-40 years.
I think I spent most of yesterday crying. When you connect with your heart in a safe space with people who are on the same journey, I think it's an incredibly powerful thing to do.
I feel I have won all the fears and I'm the king of my own kingdom.
Now onwards, I am a warrior wherever I want. I want to speak, definitely I will speak.
I will do what I need to do and let the universe decide the result. Let it flow.
From now onwards, I'll be taking massive actions and no excuses at all.
More than business, now I have the self-satisfaction of serving the community. The respect which I lost everywhere, even within my family, I'm able to regain the same.
I can say I came with a very huge burden, but end of the day I can say I'm going as a new version of me.